Okay, welcome everyone to the presentation. This is called What is WordPress and Why is it so popular? So we're going to be talking about the main benefits and features of WordPress, and then we'll talk about whether or not it might be the right website platform for you. So let's jump right in. My name is Navin Kulshreshtha. I live in Orlando, Florida, and I am the director of Devi Studios. You can check out the website at devistudios.com. We do websites, SEO, digital marketing. Been building websites for probably around 15 to 20 years now. And I would say that right now, 80% of the websites that we do are built in WordPress. It oftentimes is the best solution for most small and medium-sized businesses, but of course it's not the right solution for everyone, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So first of all, what is WordPress? So there is a technical term called CMS. That is a content management system. In less technical terms, you can call it a website builder. So a website builder just basically means that an average person without any special talents or coding or programming skills can build a website. Oftentimes, if you just dedicate a day or two to building a website, you can do it. And the basic process is that you choose a template. You customize the appearance of the template with your colors and your logo and your branding. Then you add all of your content. And of course, WordPress is not the only website builder or CMS out there, but it is by far the most popular. And I looked up these statistics recently, and I was actually quite surprised because it's gone up. And so here is WordPress at the very top of the list. Now this gray bar means all of the websites in the world. So WordPress manages 43% of all the websites in the world, and that's actually pretty amazing. The green bar represents their market share of the CMS system, or of the CMS marketplace. And there are many CMSs, WordPress being number one. Shopify is the next most popular, but you can see that the market share goes from 64% of the CMS market down to 6%. So even the number two CMS is much, much smaller than WordPress. And you may have heard of some of these other ones too, like Wix and Squarespace and Joomla and Drupal, and this list goes on and on. There are actually hundreds of website builders out there, these ones being the most popular. And then, why is WordPress so important? So we talked about that already. Powers over 43% of the websites in the world. The market share keeps growing, and it's often the top choice for most small and medium-sized businesses. And here, I call this the old days. So the old days of the web would be around the 1990s. This is what you needed to do in order to build a website. You actually had to code everything by hand from scratch, even to do small and simple things. And actually, there are still some people who prefer to code. They just like it. They enjoy it. But most people, they don't enjoy this at all, and it actually drives them crazy to have to write code like this all day long. So now, with modern website builders, we can select a template. It's almost like shopping, and they have a template almost for any purpose and any type of business. If you are a restaurant or a coffee shop or some sort of retailer or a service-based industry, a lawyer, a photographer, you name it, they've probably built a professional template that matches your business almost perfectly. And so things have changed a lot, going from code in the old days to choosing templates and being able to customize and plug in your own content quickly and easily with minimal technical skills. Now, let's just clarify one thing. There are two flavors of WordPress. We have WordPress.com. It's less professional, has fewer features. We have WordPress.org. WordPress.org is the more professional version of WordPress. It's often referred to as a self-hosted WordPress website, and it has all of the features available to WordPress. And so for most professional purposes, you're going to be doing a self-hosted WordPress website. WordPress.com, I would say, is for very casual blogging. And if we go to WordPress.com, for example, I pulled up the website already. You can click on the Get Started button. You just enter, you create a login, you choose a handle for your blog, and you can be blogging within 1 or 2 hours. WordPress.org is a little bit more sophisticated. Here you have to download the software. You get the software, and then you might have to install it on your own web server, and then you get to own and control it for life. It is completely free. So in this presentation, we'll be focusing on the more professional self-hosted version of WordPress. So we've talked about this a little bit already. Small and medium organizations who want power and flexibility at a low cost may not be the best for large enterprises and other businesses who have a very custom way of doing things. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Why is it so popular? Well, it is free. It's open source. Now, open source means that you get access to all of the source code. If you want to go in and customize it and make it your own, you actually have the ability to do that. And that's very different from proprietary software, where their source code is a very closely guarded secret. They're not going to let you go in and tinker with their source code, but with WordPress, they give you full access to everything. You can do whatever you want. It's easy to use. Most people do need at least a little bit of training, at least an orientation. It's highly customizable, which is another one of its strengths, and it is extendable, meaning you can start off with a blog and a website, but then you can turn it into almost anything that you can imagine. E-commerce store, a membership website, calendar of events, an online directory, you name it. And there is a large and supportive community that will support you if you need help. So these are all huge advantages to WordPress. And some people think that WordPress is just a blogging platform, and it is most famous as a blogging platform. But in fact, it is a full website management solution. You can do almost anything you need to as it relates to your website. So let's talk a little bit about the process. How does it work? So we're going to go through these 4 steps one at a time. First of all, you can choose a web hosting company. Then you would choose a theme. So in WordPress, it's called a theme. Most people think of it in terms of a template. Then you would build out your website, your basic website, create all of your pages. And then you would extend the website with a suite of plugins, whichever plugins you need based on your business needs. So let's go through these one at a time. So step number 1 would be choosing a web host. And I have 4, I actually have 8 total to choose from here. But on the economy side of things, I would recommend one of these 4. We have SiteGround, Bluehost, DreamHost, and InMotion Hosting. For an economy hosting plan, you'd pay anywhere from $5 to $10 to maybe $15 a month. On the premium side of things, these are the 4 that I would recommend: Nexus, WP Engine, Cloudways, and Kinsta. You're going to pay anywhere from $15 to $20 to even $50 or $100 a month, but you get much faster servers, you get staging environments, you just get a lot more professional features when you upgrade to the premium. And I actually have an account with Nexus for a lot of my higher end websites. And then for some of my slower, some of my simpler websites, I would use SiteGround. Now, when you actually choose a web hosting company, you can just request to them that they install WordPress into your website. They'll do it for you. It's completely free. You don't have to tinker with any code or go to WordPress.org to download or anything like that. The web hosting company will install WordPress for you. Then you get to choose a theme. So in WordPress, we call it a theme. In general, it is a template for your website. And I'm going to show you there are literally thousands of themes out there. So let me go to a theme gallery I have here. So this is a company called Astra, and I have a lifetime license. That's one of my favorite WordPress themes. And in addition to the theme, they have like website templates, and they have dozens and dozens, looks like 200. They have hundreds of website templates that you can choose from. You can search by industry, you can search by color. You can see that they have business templates, creative templates, community, e-commerce, blog, multi-purpose, etc. The sky's the limit. And so you can choose like a pre-built template for some higher end projects. We also, often build things from scratch. And so that'll be your first step, is you choose a theme or a template. Then you would install that to your website. And one thing I do recommend, it is possible to get free themes, but I recommend paying a little bit of money. Typically you're going to pay somewhere in the range of around $50 to maybe somewhere between $50 and $100 for a premium theme, but it is worth it because it is the basis of your entire website. You're probably going to be using it for many, many years. So the free themes tend to be less reliable. They have fewer features, and it's just not worth it. For your website, it's worth paying like around $50 for a professional theme. Then you install the theme to your website, and then you would build out your website. And here is a screenshot of the WordPress dashboard. So once you log in, and I'm actually going to log in to one of my websites here. Once you log in to your dashboard, this is where you get like full control over your website. You don't have to know any code. You get access to all of the pages in your site. Then if you have a blog, you would have access to all of your blog posts and all of the other features that run your website. And then if you needed to, for example, modify one of the pages, you just have to kind of go through this list of pages here. And let me see if I can find one that is published. And then you can click on the page, and then you're able to modify everything visually. So then you would basically customize the theme. You can modify the colors, upload your logo, create all the pages. Everyone's going to have a home page and probably an about page and a contact page and all of your service and your product pages. And you can do everything visually through this interface. Most people can do it with minimal training, just by watching YouTube videos, buying a simple book. Some people also like to get a little bit of training before they start this process because it can save a lot of time. But if you dedicated 1 or 2 days, you could probably build out most of your website. Then, if necessary, you can extend your WordPress website with plugins. Now, what is a plugin? You can think of a plugin as an extension or an add-on, or what I like to also think about it as is an app. So think about your smartphone. You have your smartphone. It's already functional. You can do everything you need to. But if you want to extend the functionality of your cell phone, you can install apps to it for online banking or for ride sharing or for almost anything you can imagine. And a website is no different. You install software into your website called a plugin, and then you would add features such as e-commerce and image galleries and events and all sorts of things. And I'm going to show you some of the most popular plugins in WordPress. So WooCommerce is for e-commerce. If you want to build an online store, then WooCommerce is the way to go with a WordPress website. You can have very sophisticated shopping experiences. Here's an example, skincare company out of Australia. And if I go to their website, I pulled it up here, we have all of these categories of products. Then we have like a nice gallery of products. And then if I click on any one of the products, I get the details. You can get reviews. You can add it to your shopping cart. And then, of course, on the back end, you have email notifications and taxes and shipping options. It can get very sophisticated. And WooCommerce can handle all of that. So that's the #1 plugin for e-commerce. You can also do SEO. One of the great things about WordPress is that it is an outstanding platform for SEO, which is search engine optimization. So if you want to make sure that your website is showing up in search engine results, then Yoast is a fantastic plugin. And here's a little screenshot from within WordPress. What you do is you choose keywords for your pages, then you can optimize. It gives you like a little checklist to optimize your page for search, and then it even gives you like a little preview so that way you can see exactly how your website appears in mobile search results and in desktop search results. So the Yoast SEO plugin is a very good option for that. Social media, so there's social media plugins. So this one is a very popular one. It's called Sassy Social Share. And you install it into your WordPress website, and now you get to have share buttons throughout your website. And so it makes it very easy for people to share your content on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. And sometimes I'll have like a list of dozens of social media sites that you can quickly and easily add to your website with just a few clicks. There are image galleries, so let's say you sell products, or let's say you're a photographer. This is one of the most popular image plugins for WordPress websites. It's called Next Gen Gallery. They have like a free option, they have a paid option, and that would be the case for a lot of these plugins. So for example, for Yoast, I pretty much just use their free license. And then if you need to upgrade it, it's typically in the range of $50 to $100. Sometimes it's a one-time fee, sometimes it's an annual recurring fee. But there are a lot of free options out there. And then another plugin would be an events calendar. So if you need to have like a live calendar events on your website, you can install a plugin called the Events Calendar. And you can even have registration. So people can click on your event, they can enter their name and their address and their credit card information, and then they get email notifications and everything like that, and all the tools that you need in order to manage your event properly. So this is one plugin for events. You can build membership websites as well and generate recurring revenue for yourself. And I'll show you one simple example of a membership website using this plugin. So this is a yoga website, and if you want access to the entire video library of yoga videos, you click on the join button and you would pay $25 a month for full access or $200 a year for access. These are recurring payments, and all of the software is provided for the registration, for managing the subscribers. They can update their credit card information, and everything you need to run your online membership website. So this is called MemberPress. Very useful plugin. You can have online courses. So if you want to deliver online courses, this is a really good plugin. It's called LearnDash. This is a paid plugin. I think this one is in the range of $100 to $200 per year. So you would purchase the plugin, which is essentially software, install it into your website. You can build out your course. It can include text and audio and videos and quizzes and downloads and all sorts of things. And then people can register for your course and take it all online. If you have a nonprofit organization, this is like a really good plugin, GiveWP, and it allows you to get donations and to get recurring donations and to manage your user base. So this is GiveWP. And then one of the things, this is kind of like a revolution in WordPress. Like WordPress was a big leap from coding a website. Now we have like a very nice website builder. Then the next evolution in WordPress was a page builder. Because in the early days of WordPress, you still needed to have pretty strong technical skills. You needed to know at least a little bit of HTML and at least a little bit of CSS in order to do anything sophisticated. But now we have page builders. And page builders means that you can create sophisticated page layouts inside of WordPress without any code. And I'm going to give you like a short demo very soon. But my two favorite page builders are Beaver Builder. This one is very stable, very reliable, very good for developers. Elementor is actually the most popular page builder. It's good for end users and maybe people who are not so technical. And let me show you why page builders are so fantastic. So for example, here's one of the web pages on my website, Web Design and Development. And I'm going to launch the Beaver Builder Page Builder. So I'm going to click here. And now what I really like about it is that it is completely visual. As I'm editing the web page, I can see exactly how it looks. If there's anything that I want to modify here, I simply have to click. So if I want to change any of the text here, I click on it, and then I'm able to modify all of the text over here visually without any issues at all. If I want to create any sort of sophisticated layouts, for example, here I added like a nice little background from kind of this blue color to this aqua color. That was all done visually inside of the page builder. I have all of my row properties, all of my spacing, my text, my fonts, all of my colors. Then one thing I really like about it is that I can create multi-column layouts. So here is like a 3-column layout, and I was able to do all of this visually. So if I wanted to create a 3-column layout, I could go up to the section here. I can do a 2-column layout, a 3-column layout, a 4-column layout, and then I can just drag it directly onto the page. So now I have a 3-column layout, and then inside of the 3-column layout, I just dragged some text, I dragged some images, I dragged some buttons, and then I was able to do everything visually, not a single line of code, to do this somewhat sophisticated mobile compatible layout. And this is what you can do now with page builders. You can create almost anything that you can imagine you can do without writing a single line of code. So it has really revolutionized WordPress websites. And then one thing I mentioned about WordPress is that it is highly customizable. So you can also create your own plugins. You can customize existing plugins if there's like some sort of custom feature that maybe doesn't exist, or there's like a very specific or particular way that you like to do things. You can create a custom plugin and then you can install it right into your website, which we often do for clients. Now, I don't want you to walk away from this presentation thinking that WordPress is perfect and it's the ideal solution for everyone, because it's not. There are some disadvantages. So for example, if you log into the web server, there's some fairly sophisticated architecture on the back end. There's like multiple layers. You have like the layer that you see inside of the browser, then you have a bunch of code on the server, then all of that code basically accesses a database, and so the database is where all of your content and all of your images are, and so there's a lot of things happening on the back end, and that also means that it can be a little bit slow. So there are some WordPress websites out there that take a long time to load, and people have become so impatient these days, they're not going to wait a very long time. And then we have to come up with strategies like upgrading the hosting, like we go from an economy hosting up to premium hosting. We have like caching and things like that. So there are various strategies that we need to use to make sure that the WordPress website loads quickly. You do have to keep WordPress updated. You have a theme. You have like the WordPress core software. Then you have a theme or a template. Then you have all of these plugins, and they're changing constantly. So at least once a week or once a month, you have to go in and update everything. That means you have to update WordPress, you have to update your theme, you have to update all of your plugins. Now you own the website. It's on your web server. You own and control everything. So if something breaks, if there's like a plugin or a theme conflict or some sort of issue on your website, you have to fix it. The web hosting company might be some help to you, but they often say, oh, you need to have a web developer come in and fix it. So of course, with ownership comes responsibility. And so WordPress website is going to come with some responsibility to keep it updated and secure. So that means it's not for everyone. For example, if you have a microsite, that means that you have like a very small 5-page static brochure website for your business. You're not really making any modifications to it. You're not really blogging. You're not really doing anything like that. Then I would say WordPress is too powerful for you and it comes with too much responsibility. It's better for you to go with a website builder like Squarespace. You can pay them $20 a month. There are no updates, there's no responsibility, you just have to manage your website. If anything breaks, they fix it for you. No questions asked. Now it's not as powerful, it's not as customizable, it's not as flexible as WordPress, but if you have like a small microsite, it's more than enough. If you are an online retailer and your main focus is selling products online, that's your main business, it's e-commerce, then I recommend Shopify. Shopify is ideally suited. It's pretty much targeted and customized for online retailers, as opposed to WordPress, which is kind of a general solution. Shopify is a very specific solution for online stores. And it starts at only $29 a month. Goes up to several $100s a month for large stores. But if that's your main focus, then you can do that. Also, if you're an enterprise, like a very large companies, they're probably not going to do WordPress. They typically custom build all of their sites from scratch. They also have an in-house IT team, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 developers, if not more, who are fully dedicated to building out and maintaining the website. So they would much rather just have a custom solution. It is possible to have a hybrid approach. For example, WordPress is a great blogging platform. There's all these awesome website builders and page builders. And so sometimes we do a hybrid approach where we have like the main website is built in WordPress, but then as soon as somebody clicks on like the Buy Now button, then they go over to an e-commerce provider where they can finalize the transaction, make their purchase, like in Shopify or another solution like that. This is a little bit sophisticated. I recommend getting professional help if you decide to do something like this. And I want to show you some examples of an enterprise company that basically built their own CMS, their own website. So here's an example. This is a company that did not use WordPress. They have custom built everything from scratch. It's called Policy Genius. And I actually did end up buying an insurance policy from them. They have like a very sophisticated system. You can go through, you can click, you can enter your age and your zip code and go through a full questionnaire. And then one of their salespeople will contact you. They have their own customer database built. So this is an enterprise website that is custom built from scratch. So they were not a good candidate for WordPress. And then we also have some other ones like DannyKHandbags.com. One of my clients, they sell purses out of Los Angeles. Very unique and beautiful products. And I recommended to them that they go with either a WooCommerce store or a Shopify store, but for whatever reason, they're like, no. We don't want to work with any existing CMSs. We want to create our own. So then we built kind of a custom dashboard for them, which they're very happy with. And then GSI Boat is another example of a very unique business with a unique business model for which an existing CMS didn't work. So we also built a custom solution for them. And that's pretty much the end of the presentation. My name is Navin. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.